This is Barry Zalma speaking for Claim School Incorporated's blog, Zalma on Insurance. Today we're going to explain why a pollution exclusion deters deliberate or negligent behavior that can lead to damage and environmental harm. And to explain why no insurance policy covers every potential risk of loss. In the world of business, corporations obtain commercial insurance to protect their assets, and commercial insurers customarily include exclusion provisions in their policies. Exclusion provisions dispel the notion that insurance coverage is without limits and place the insured on notice about actions or omissions that will trigger an insurer's denial of coverage. Insurance policies that include pollution exclusion provisions accomplish even more. In a case called Gold Coast Commodities versus Travelers, the United States Court of Appeal for the Fifth Circuit on March 18, 2024, established and clarified the reasons for a pollution exclusion. It noted that an insurance policy's pollution exclusion deters deliberate or negligent behavior that leads to environmental harm. When a court affirms a pollution exclusion, the insured is prevented from coverage, and the courts will protect the insurer's right to disincentivize corporations from engaging in bad faith actions with a known environmental impact. This case arose from claims asserted against an insured, and due to a pollution exclusion, those claims fell outside the insurance policy's reach. Gold Coast Commodities, Inc. is a business corporation located in Rankin County, Mississippi. Gold Coast converts used cooking oil and vegetable byproducts into animal feed ingredients. Gold Coast became insured under Travelers' policy, and in July of 2018, the city of Brandon filed suit in the Circuit Court of Rankin County against Gold Coast and its principals, alleging that Gold Coast dumped significant amounts of high-temperature, corrosive, low-pH wastewater into the city's sewer systems. These actions and omissions were alleged to have occurred during the policy period. The city of Brandon sought to recover the damages from negligence resulting from the discharge or release of pollutants as the term pollutants was defined in the policy. In June of 2021, adding to Gold Coast's problems, the city of Jackson filed suit in the Circuit Court of Hinds County against Gold Coast and its principals, alleging that Gold Coast dumped high-temperature or corrosive industrial waste into the city's sewer system. Travelers denied coverage for defense or indemnity of the two suits, and Travelers cited the policy's pollution exclusion as the basis for its denial of coverage. Gold Coast sued, and Travelers filed a motion for partial summary judgment, arguing that it had no duty to defend Gold Coast and its principals in their respective lawsuits, and Gold Coast filed a motion for partial judgment on the pleadings, arguing that 1. Travelers has the duty to defend Gold Coast and its principals in their respective lawsuits, and 2. Travelers has a duty to reimburse Gold Coast and its principals for their defense costs. Travelers similarly filed a motion for summary judgment that it owed neither defense nor indemnity to Gold Coast. The district court denied Gold Coast's motion for partial judgment on the pleadings and granted Travelers' motion for partial summary judgment. An insurance company's duty to defend is triggered when it becomes aware that a complaint has been filed which contains reasonable, plausible allegations of conduct covered by the policy. No duty to defend arises when the claims fall outside the policy's coverage. Exclusionary clauses are often and always strictly interpreted, and the language within them must be clear and unmistakable. The district court concluded that all the claims in the complaints were clearly and unambiguously excluded from coverage based on the policy's pollution exclusion. The Fifth Circuit concluded that the language unambiguously excluded Gold Coast's actions. A substance is an irritant or contaminant at its core when no matter where it is, how it is contained, or whether it is in contact with something, it is an irritant or contaminant. A substance can become an irritant or contaminant when it comes into contact with something and is actively irritating or contaminating it. The allegations in both lawsuits from the city of Brandon and the city of Jackson present facts that are paradigmatic for the application of the policy's pollution exclusion. The deliberate discharge of toxic industrial waste is precisely the type of activity to which the traveler's policy's pollution exclusion was intended to apply. There is not a reasonable interpretation of the wastewater's form or qualities that would conclude that it was not an irritant or contaminant. Therefore, the Fifth Circuit concluded that the policy is not ambiguous. Because the policy is not ambiguous, the claims are and were excluded from coverage, and Gold Coast therefore did not sufficiently plead facts that triggered travelers' duty to defend, and the district court's decision was affirmed. The Fifth Circuit established one of the important reasons for exclusions in insurance policies like that issued to Gold Coast by travelers. Exclusion provisions are present to reveal to insureds that insurance coverage is limited and place the insured on notice about actions or omissions that will trigger an insurer's denial of coverage. Insurance policies that include pollution exclusion provisions accomplish even more than protecting the insurer because they deter wrongful conduct. No one with insurance will do something that cannot be protected by insurance, and Gold Coast learned that lesson the hard way. It must pay from its own funds for defense of the lawsuits and pay from its assets any tort damages resulting from the pollution. This video was adapted from my blog, Zalma on Insurance, which is available free to anyone who clicks on the URL zalma.com/blog. You can subscribe to the blog, and you will be given notice of every blog posting, usually 5, sometimes 6 a week, and have access to more than 4,750 blog postings. Please tell your friends and colleagues about this blog and the videos, and let them subscribe to the blog and the videos. They're both free. If you are interested in further detail about insurance, insurance claims, insurance fraud, and insurance law, please consider, for a very small fee, subscribing to my Substack publication. Thank you for your attention.